It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. My name is Candace Gish. If this is your very first time tuning into the Divas That Care, a huge welcome. We are now doing our 13th year. You know, sometimes it's hard to believe, and I am so grateful that we've even been able to do it this long. We are also listened to in over 30 countries around the world. So, you know, thank you to each and every one of you, because it really, truly is a great honor to be able to have our show in so many areas. We have had so many amazing guests over the years. We've had so many amazing hosts that have joined us. And you know what? It is so much fun. So I hope that you're able to go check out the divasthatcare.com and listen to our recorded shows and, you know, definitely follow all of these amazing guests and hosts. All right, everyone. Today's guest is my amazing friend, Hasina. And Hasina I've had her on my program quite a few times and comes on. She's always giving us some tips and tools. And I'm always inspired by her because she truly is doing great things in this world. So Hasina, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Candace. I love being on your show. So, you know, I was just saying to you, you inspire me, and 13 years with your show, that's amazing. So thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, it is my pleasure. And it's always said time flies when you're having fun. And I've definitely had a lot of fun in the last 13 years. And I've had the opportunity to grow and to meet so many women and men over the years. And it's been great. So, and you and I have had the opportunity to collaborate on so many different projects. And I know that we're going to be doing a lot more in the future here.
Yes, definitely. And that's the whole thing, you know, collaboration is so wonderful because being in community, I think at this time in our world is exactly what we need.
I couldn't agree with you more. It is definitely what we need. Well, Hasina, can you do me a favor and could you introduce yourself to some of our new listeners today?
Yes, thank you. Well, I am a healing breakthrough coach. I'm in South Africa in a town called Newcastle, which is about 3 hours drive southeast from Johannesburg. And I am also a yoga instructor and Akashic Records reader, a poet, an author, and a public speaker. So I do many different things, and I created this Healing Breakthrough University because I just feel that we all need to heal to our next level. So my sister and I also empower girls through leadership programs. But what I'm most excited about today is one of the programs in Healing Breakthrough University that has just launched.
I'm really excited about that too, because you've called it the power of three. And I want to know why you decided to call it that.
Well, let me go to the backstory before I explain the power of three. So I must actually think about where it started. When I was a child, so my dad was a doctor, a GP, and my mom's a nurse. She's now retired. She's a wellness coach. And I grew up in my dad's practice. And in those years, it was a very tumultuous time in South Africa. It was during apartheid South Africa. I grew up non-white. And a lot of my dad's patients were from the Zulu community. And back then, there was a community feel, especially with the tribal nations. So with the Zulu community, you know, everything was sort of open, and you know, people would communicate, and healing was something that wasn't so private like we have now in the Western world. so people would come into my dad's practice, and I would be there as a little girl and I'd ask them for their names because I was allowed to do that. In fact, everyone loved that. And ask them, just little things. And they would start telling me, what was wrong with them and why they wanted to see the doctor. Now, obviously, as a child, there's patient confidentiality, and I would never have asked such a thing or been allowed to. But this was the feel. And the thing is, because it was our family and it was their family, it was a whole community feel. And I think that was the first time that I began to realize that healing takes place in community, and we all raise our vibrations to the next level. And, when we start feeling better and we feel like we can communicate and we can lean on each other, then that just makes us not just emotionally, but even physically feel better. So that carried through my life. It was a wonderful period in my life, and it carried through. And lately, with the world being shut down, 3 years ago, the world was shut down. And now here we are, finding some new sense of normal, being evolved beings, having grown. You were speaking about growth, Candace. And I am finding that there is a need for community, and we get to lean on each other, and we get to not heal from something, but heal to our next evolutionary level, heal to where we want to be. And we can do that in community. So that's where the idea of this experiential coaching came from. And what came through me was there are going to be 3 people in a group. And we're going to do this amazing coaching. And I can continue to tell you more of what it's about.
Well, I
should I
like
stop
that.
there?
Well, you know
Okay.
what? I just want to say that I love that. And the fact that, it's a conversation that's come up quite a few times already in 2023 is the power of community. And I think, like you were probably feeling too, there was that sense of loss. When we have been isolated, we haven't been had the opportunity to be around family and friends and those dinner parties and things like that, where we really felt that bond and that feeling in our soul. And I think now, there's so many people that are finally realizing, like, yeah, I miss that sense of community. But how do you feel? Like, what I want to ask you is, how are we going to help people find that again and realize that they're missing it? Because there is, on different scales, some of us that really, we feel it in our souls that we need it. And then other people, I think, are so shy and scared, and they don't know what they're feeling anymore. They don't really realize that that's maybe what they're missing.
Well, that's a very good question, Candace. The sense that I get is that we're all grieving in some or other way, and we're grieving for a life. And I don't pretend to speak for everyone, but my experience of speaking to people and my own experience is we're grieving for a life that we knew, that we'd figured out how to be with it. And whether we feel, whether there's some people who are introverted, they were still taken away from a life that they knew how to deal with and still finding a new normal. So however we feel this has changed, there has been a change. And I think that we've been really going through a lot of stress in our countries, challenges that we never foresaw. We've been going through a lot of where some of us have felt betrayed in different ways. And, we've been feeling like we're grieving for something we once knew. And there's a hole in a lot of us. We feel that way emotionally, but we don't know how to fill it. So we may not know what is missing, but we do know there is something missing, and there is something that we feel maybe insecure about.
I
Yeah.
couldn't agree with you more. I think that's exactly it. And that's why I'm excited about all these things that you're doing now. And you were mentioning the power of three. You said that three people can start community. Is that kind of how you're visualizing it?
Well, yes, this is how we picture it. You see, going back to what people feel that they are missing, and they get to be in community. And it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're someone who is introverted or someone who's extroverted or anything in between. You can still be in community. Now, all of us want to feel some sort of I wouldn't call it therapy, but we want something for ourselves. Like, imagine if you could have something like yoga, breathing exercises, meditation, um, being able to have an Akashic Records reading, have some mind inspiration, and you could have it all in once, and it feels like a treat for many of us, like when you go for a massage, that the physical feeling that you're treating yourself. And this would be a feeling where you do feel you're treating yourself, you're feeling something in your being. And you get to do that in a little community of three, two of your friends and you. And I have this experiential coaching is very hands-on. It's like going to the gym. When you go to a class, you get the benefits immediately, then and there. And that's what I want. That not only will you get the benefits of unstressing yourself with maybe breathing or a little bit of yoga and some mind inspiration and input from the community, um, and Akashic Records reading, divine guidance, if whatever fits for you, but you'll actually get to take some of these techniques that you learn and go apply it the next day. And you have this coaching every week of the month, so 3 weeks out of the month. The last week is an integration week, and it's a lot of fun because it's not just heaviness. There are three people there, and you have a lot of laughs and a lot of being able to relate to one another. And this is a 3 month journey. So it's 3 weeks of the month, a 3 month journey, three people, and the cost is $333 per month for each month. So you get to experience it for a fraction of the cost of normal coaching, which I wanted because I always wanted to be able to have these techniques and not have to spend the earth on each of them and get what fits for me. And that's what I really want to do for people who come into this program.
I love that. How do you determine which three people are in a group?
Oh, I love that question. Well, the first way one could do it is, if someone was interested and they have two friends, they could actually just have their two friends also gather. So you're with a group that sort of you feel comfortable with. The other way you could do it is you could sign up for it, and then we start the coaching when there are two other people. And you may not know them, but because you know what the coaching is about, you're going to have that commonality where you're all interested in, this particular path that I'm offering. And often I find that, for example, as you know, I'm a yoga instructor. I was teaching a student, and another potential student approached me, and the only time that would suit her was in the first student's time slot. First student didn't mind. So I said, okay, join her, wondering how it would be. It is the best thing that ever happened to them. They've become friends and they have so much in common, and it's like the universe arranged it. And I think there's just a letting go sometimes where, the right people just come together and you put that intention out there.
I love that, and I couldn't agree more. I think things always happen for a reason, and when you were like saying is putting that intention out there, amazing things can transpire.
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely. Better than you could if you arranged it yourself. So, yeah, I just say that if this is something that you want to do, get together with two friends or two colleagues, people in your organization, people you work with, people in your spiritual development groups, whatever those look like, or get together with just two people who are good friends, or even people in the same family if they'd like to do it, because there's a lot of lightness. Like, coaching does not have to be heavy. Um, yeah, I'll talk to you about that
I like
in
that.
a minute.
Well, and it's really interesting because you had mentioned like the time commitment, 3 weeks for 3 months. So what does that mean? How many hours a day does a person would they be involved in this? Like what type of a time commitment for them would it be?
Well, it would be a 90-minute commitment once a week. So it's for 3 weeks out of the month. So supposing they decide, that we decide to do it on a Monday, so it would be 90 minutes that Monday, next Monday 90 minutes, following Monday 90 minutes, and then the last Monday of the month is an integration, where you just get to have a break and apply it to your life. And of course, in all the in betweens, for the whole week, you're applying something to your life. Um, I like to
Sounds
put
like
it
fun.
like this. It is. I was actually teaching one of my clients about cat-cow breathing and yoga. And all of us sometimes get so stressed, and when in that moment when you're stressed and you want some kind of technique to unstress, I find that's not the time to look for a technique. That's the time to have something in your toolbox that you can just pull out and use. So I was actually teaching my clients about cat-cow breathing and yoga. And if you haven't done yoga, it's you arch your back and you inhale into what we call cow. So you're sort of dropping your shoulder blades, putting your shoulder back, and inhaling, and you curving your back and exhaling and sort of tucking your head in. And this is all done on hands and knees with your hands under your shoulders. And it makes such a difference. You can even use it as a core exercise. But here's the thing, when people are focusing on their core or on the sound of their breath, they're not stressing. There is no way you can focus on your breath and on, just your core muscles, and then still focus on something that you're worried about, because something's going to suffer. And so I find if they're focused on the exercise, they can do this. But also, if they couldn't be on hands and knees, like if I'm driving long distance, I have my hands on the steering wheel, and when I get to the traffic light, I'm like arching into cow and curving into cat, and it's helping me physically. But there might be a low level stress when you're driving, because of the other cars. People are stressed these days, and people are not concentrating. And so just being able to release that stress in a situation in everyday life, and that's what I want people to be able to take away as well as get benefit in the moment.
I think that is brilliant, and that's so great. Hasina, how can our listeners check out this program?
Oh, thank you for asking. Yes, they can go to the website healingbreakthroughuniversity.com/power of three. And three is not in words, it's three, the number. So it's healingbreakthroughuniversity.com/power of three.
And can our listeners start at any time then?
Yes, this is a program that I'll be running the whole year round because there's a call for it. People want techniques, they want to unstress, they want to go to new realms of their life where they think, I want to jump into a new career. I want to, these life situations that come up all the time. So there's no particular time of year. Um, when they feel that, okay, I need to cope with this situation. I'm starting a new job. I'd like to get my health in order or whatever. We can never predict these things. So I feel it's great to open it when people are ready.
Love it. This is great. And the last question I have for you is you're thinking about putting something at the end of the year, kind of like a retreat. Can you kind of quickly mention that?
So yes, Candice, we're so excited about this retreat. For those of your listeners who have always wanted to visit Africa, particularly South Africa, we have this amazing retreat going on from the 26th of November to the 30th of November. Shamima and Shamima's my sister, so we're doing it in conjunction with our colleague in the US, Dr. Ingrid Pika, who is both a veterinarian and an amazing entrepreneur. So this retreat combines mind, body, spirit, and entrepreneurship, and it's going to be in this beautiful setting. It's a game lodge, a 4-star accommodation game lodge, and your meals are taken care of. Everything you need is taken care of, and it's just a wonderful place to relax. But the best part is that you get a game drive every day. So you get to see the big five, the lions, the elephants, buffalo, so many other animals, and you get to see them practically on your doorstep. Get to go on game drives with seasoned guides, and it's just going to be a wonderful community feel with African soil and the smell of Africa and, the colors and the rhythm. And we're just really excited to bring this. So if anyone's interested, they can email me, hello@hasinapatel.com.
Yay, I love it. It sounds so exciting and so much fun. I can't wait to know more later in the year, and we can definitely post it with our social media.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Hasina, have any tips or tools, things you want to share with our listeners?
Yes, I think just thinking about that, all of us, I think, want to just feel calmer. And I'd like to share a breathing tip because I feel like, that's something that we can all use. So I always feel that when we feel that we can't draw breath deeply, that's an indication, and the indication is that we're stressed. When you feel you're breathing like you're just breathing in and out, often you're holding your breath. So just being able to slow that down and consciously, if you can't breathe deeply, inhaling to 3 counts and just holding the breath for 3 counts and exhaling for 3 counts through the nose, both inhaling and exhaling through the nose. So you go in, 2, 3, hold, 2, 3, and out, 2, 3. So you just use that as a calming technique, even if you use it for 2 minutes. And then one last technique, if you find that you need to raise your vibration or you're really not feeling good, whatever time of day it is, you go into gratitude. And if it's too much for you in the moment to say, What am I grateful for in this moment? It may be something like, oh, my heart beating, the color that the wall is painted, or the shape of that wonderful, that wonderful yellow painting on the wall, the shapes in there, or something like that. But if that is even too much for you, go into, let me list 3 things right now that make me feel good. And I will even go into something like, I love the way my cupboards are textured. They have this wood, and you can see, you could even imagine the rings of the trees. Just little things like that. I love my wall art that is, the calligraphy that it's written with, follow your dreams. So anything that makes you feel good is a gratitude list, and go with this moment right now. So those are 2 techniques that, you can use if you're not feeling good, if you're feeling stressed. And not only does it have an impact on you physically and emotionally, but it has an impact on your children, on your partner, on the people around you.
I love that. Thank you so much. Those were beautiful.
Well, thank you, Candace. It's been such fun.
You know what? It always is great having you on the program. I love chatting with you. I love everything that you're doing, and I can't wait to have you back on in the future.
Oh, thank you, likewise. And I can't wait to be back on your show. I always enjoy myself. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're going to be doing that, and we have some great things planned for the future here. So thank you, Hasina, and thank you to all of our amazing listeners. It's hard to believe that we've been doing this for so long and having amazing people like Hasina on our program. I'm going to be posting her social media, and I'll be posting about this new Power of 3 program on our social media also. I hope that each and every one of you has the opportunity to check out all of our other shows at divasthatcare.com, and to also make sure that you go and share, like, and comment on their programs. These amazing guests love to connect with you. So go out, reach out to them, and connect. All right, everyone, make sure you do something kind today. Until next time.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.